Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be going through my favorite TV shows from the year that is 2022. There is so much content that came out between broadcast and streaming, and honestly, it was a little bit overwhelming. There were shows that I never got around to because, let's be honest, time is a luxury that we have way too little of. With that being said, here are some great shows that I watched this year in no particular order, so let's get right into it. Before we hop into the meat of my top 5, let's talk about the shows that I very much enjoyed and you should check out but aren't in my top 5 of the year. Here are my honorable mentions: Russian Doll Season 2, The Sandman, Peacemaker, Young Royal Season 2, and All of Us Are Dead. To start things off, let's talk about the show The Bear, which deals with Carmy taking over a restaurant that was ran by his brother and shows how difficult it is to run said restaurant after coming from fine dining while also dealing with his brother's death. The Bear was a show I wasn't really intending to watch, but once I started, I was completely locked in. It can be stressful because of all of the yelling, but it also shows dealing with grief and how Carmy comes to really make everyone respect him, and he himself learns that everyone has their own strengths and learns about what this is and basically learns how to build a better team. The Bear takes some time to shine a light on mental health, which I love to see because sometimes you don't know what someone is going through. It also has one of the best monologues this year in TV about his relationship with his brother and basically him coming to terms with his brother's suicide. Only Murders in the Building Season 2 picks up where Season 1 left off with the death of their landlord Bunny, and now Mabel, Charles, and Oliver must figure out who the killer is and clear their names. Only Murders has me like that one Charlie Day meme trying to piece together what's going on and find out who the killer is before it is announced in the show. This season brought back some of the charm from season 1, but also lets us explore more of the characters and the Arcania itself this season. It's a show that keeps you on your feet while also have you dying of laughter. Stranger Things is a show that sometimes I forget how much I enjoy, and then I watch it and I'm like, oh wow, I remember why I really enjoyed this. This season sees the group dealing with a bigger villain by the name of Vecna that is trying to combine the Upside Down with the real world. You can tell that they really upped the budget this season, and everything from the effects to the story just continues to get better. This season really lets different characters shine while different storylines are happening and lets it all come together in the end that really helps set up for season 5. Also, adding Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill was a freaking great idea, and that song has been on my playlist ever since and really introduced me to Kate Bush because honestly I was really not familiar with her. Also, RIP to Eddie. Heartstopper is a show that I saw a lot of people excited for online, so when it came out, I was like, well, I should watch it because people keep talking about it. The show is based off of a book of the same name and is a coming of age story about a blossoming romance between Charlie and Nick. The story itself is very inclusive, which I love to see, and we get to see Nick dealing with figuring out what he wants and coming to terms with his own bisexuality, Charlie learning how to be proud of himself and not hide himself for a guy, and we get trans representation from Elle, just to name a few. The show is filled with some great music, which made me fall even more in love with the show. The stars of the show are very talented, and I look forward to their futures. And also, Olivia Colman is in the show, and I'm sorry, but who doesn't love Olivia Colman? Last, but certainly not least, is a small indie show that you may have heard of called House of the Dragon. This show is in the Game of Thrones universe, and this season shows events leading up to a Targaryen civil war. There were so many actors in this show that when I was watching, I was like, dang, they are really good. The show gave me lots of dragon and lots of moments that had me on the edge of my seat. This show also caused a stir on Twitter every Sunday after the episodes were released, and I love to see everyone's reactions to the show. This show did not disappoint and reignited my unrealistic dream of one day having a dragon. There was a lot of great TV, and trust me, I had a hard time narrowing it down to my top five. There was so much that I didn't get to watch this year, but it's on my always expanding list that I hope to get to eventually. I would love to hear some of your favorites down below. Maybe we have some of the same, or maybe I might find out a new show to add to my very long list. Besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.